Hello everyone, I am Deso24 and welcome back to Reverses, a show we pit two characters from the universe to defeat each other to see who win in a fight, based on research. Today we have a battle between two characters that held their title very long. Well, before one of them being dead and then transferred to another sibling. But I digress. Today's battle? Well, it's between Nightwolf, the protector of the Modaka, and Kamen Kiva, the next heir of the Kiva family. Who will win? Wolf or bat? Or inaccurate vampire at best, or yeah, that's just bat. With that being said, let us begin. To start with Nightwolf, we had to talk about the Modaka. The Modaka are kind of like a native spiritual. They believe in one god, and that god is the goddess, the Great Spirit. You see, unlike in his derivatives, Nightwolf or Great Cloud was not one of those tried. He mainly just see it as unfitting. That is to come to confront with Kano. But however, he regret that kind of decision, and Kano almost killed him. He would have died if it weren't for the Great Spirit. After being proven himself worthy of really laying down his life, he actually formed protection and became the next Nightwolf, in preventing the Fat Dragon to ever find the remains of his own clan. Since then, Nightwolf became the Earthbound's among the champions, even eventually letting out to being part of being Earthbound's warriors, defending against other outworld threats, or even at best Netherrealm. Although he did become a revenant / zombie in the new timeline, but that's a completely different kind of story. Although I think at best I think Force Snake or Science HD could sum up. As for Kiva, his origin is pretty much different. His origin pretty much came from the Fangire, mainly the fact that it's based around kind of like vampires, well, technically, but with monsters made out of glass. You see, 22 years ago, his disappearing father pretty much went to distress, even eventually living in an infamous haunted house, after being left as well by his own mother, Maya, who is also a Fangire. Since then, he been living under life and even mostly dealing with Kamen Rider, who is part of an organization seeking to destroy the Fangire menace. Luckily, in the split stories of actions, Walter and the President actually managed to encounter and have friends with companion / Morpher Kiva, or in some retrospect, he can actually help him, or at least Kiva the Bat can able to help him the third. As such, both agree on one thing: preventing the Fangire will send them to be taking over the human world, even linking to between times. Eventually, Wotu became the next heir and becoming Kiva, where he'll pretty much slowly revealing and pass between Fangire race and Kiva. It's basically kind of like time travel, but kind of looking true to it. Alright, with that being said, what are Kiva doing? Well, Nightwolf is actually pretty skilled, mainly the fact that he is a skilled warrior. As such, he is definitely shown to be stronger and trained in different martial arts, French 2 and Taekwondo, which both of them are translated to a few things. Frodo is translated to a martial art that named literally anything goes, and Taekwondo focuses on kicks. And his most useful one today is his shaman magic. Basically using emerald magic, Nightwolf can easily summon any weaponry at his own choice, well technically made out of energy / magic, mostly possessing regenerative powers with the grace as long as the Great Spirit first approach him, healing any wounds in state. And there's a few more, like say it preventing a attack to hit him, or even at best get stealing anything away, like in the original timeline as stealing Unaga away to the Nether. As well as sword would be taken by sword-based attacks. As for his different kind of way, and thanks to the MK11, he can able to summon 3 different animal spirits. Kubo, a massive bear, can give him strength. Kobai, which is kind of reference to the Mortal Kombat cartoon, The Financial Realms, which is made of wolf and increasing speed. And Eagle, well Handa, is summoned to distract his opponents. Yeah, it's pretty good, at least sum up. As Nightwolf's arsenal, well there's a few, but his most signature one is Wolfang, his Tomahawk. Actually, scratch that, his Ghost of Hawk. It's basically a Tomahawk, its primary one at least, pretty good useful when summoning a Tomahawk, or even summoning lightning at best. It's actually been used by the Nightwolf's tribe for centuries actually. Oh, even at best, he can able to summon it out of nowhere and either to toss it or create lightning. Of course, he has a few fatalities, but the one I actually kind of admire is his animal fatality, where he actually transforms to a wolf. I'm not kidding, it's actually a thing. I will discover other fatalities, but that's different point due to maybe because I will not get to a few things. He also has some brutal fatalities like no leg to stand, not even violence, and etc. Including right to the heart with just shooting an arrow. And for those who's expecting, I am also be including the Kronka ending, well, his arcane ending, but that's canon. Yes, it will be a fair one, but I don't think it will be counted here because 1 is not canon, and 2, it can only be used if Nightwolf actually can possess a power in the main canon. It could be possible if I could easily put that at account, but I really do not want to put that there because sake of non-canon if it's really necessary. So no, I will not cover Nightwolf's Timekeeper powers. I'm just mostly focused on his base ones at least. As for Kiva, his powers are his skills and his famous strength. Even as a common rider, thanks to Kiva the Third, he can easily use him, or at best can able to talk and fly, and with him he can transform to his common state. You see, his common form, well, to be accurate, is just his base form, nothing more. His helmet gets posed with equipment of Iceland that can see through the dark, he can fly with claws, and have a few more. And his finisher is mainly the Darkness Moonbreaker, aka just kicking it from the high moon and creating a symbol. It's really strange and stupid, but hey, you want to finish your something, you have a symbol of your own logo. And there's a few more, but his own traits at best is mainly his arsenals. Mainly the armed beasts. You see, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, the armed monsters are basically kind of like summoners, or at best, allies. While we're not technically putting them in fight along with Kiva, but they can also be used in some ways of creating a weapon for Kiva. For starters, Garu can able to transform into a sword. That kid over there wearing school dress, don't ask me how, can transform into a gun. As for the big guy, well, he transformed into a hammer. It also worth mentioning he has his own vehicle as well. Man, the fact that his own castle is part dragon. I don't know why, but it's pretty cool. But all serious aside, with that being said, his own castle can actually fly and shoot fireballs. It's basically a dragon at this point, or at least a living castle with it. You know, in Tokusatsu, it's very weird and very strange with constantly kind of concepts like these, but at this point, you kind of embrace the weirdness of it. But anyways, onto the subject of powers, he also have another ally, and to his transformation, Tasu, or Tasu at best. Anyway, Tasu is a partner shot. With him, he can actually access to Kiva to his final form, that being the Kiva Emperor form. In this state, he can actually increase all his strength to 1. He's definitely known to be the strongest one at best, included with a sword, which can also be used as a finishers as well. He also still equips his arm monsters at best, and definitely know how to use it. And so many more. And as well, he can able to transform into a bat. A monster bat at least. Called Emperor Bat. Which actually can breathe hellfire. Okay, is it me or is Kiva is a vampire? Something from, maybe, I don't know, from Castlevania? I'm probably not gonna think it too much of it. Well, actually, I should think about more of it at least. With that being said, Kiva had proved a lot of himself, especially a few more. And there's a lot I could say, but we'll be here all day at least. Whew, man, that's a lot of info I just had, and at least he do not have any parent issues. But however, both of them are not perfect. Nightwolf, while he is known as a talented warrior, he have lost a few fights before, and made the fact that besides he can put his own beliefs above his own pride, which can sometimes join a fight in the right circumstance. Plus, his honor to his own tribe can also be a disadvantage when it comes against a more vigorous foe like Sindel in MK9. As well, he is very skilled with his own weapons, but he haven't actually mastered none of them. And despite being as a revenant, he is still weaker, despite defeating Shang Tsung. And no, that doesn't count. And it is pretty disappointing because while Nightwolf is shown to be that, he can still easily defeat it and worth up for nothing. What do you think of the fact that by the time he was a leader of the Earthbound champions, that only led him his own death, and all his Earthbound warriors, excluding Giant Cage and Sonya, to be killed by Sindel, aka Katana's mother, who is also later retcon in MK11, but that's another story for another time. Seriously, when it comes with NetherRealm, there has been a bit story elements have been changing a lot. As for Kiva, he also has flaws. Without Kiva, he couldn't even transform. Without his boots, he couldn't transform to other transformations. And besides all that, if Kiva gets sick, he'll lose the ability to fight in affection at least. Plus, if one of his arm monsters are killed, Kiva can actually access from them anymore. Plus, even though I didn't mention the violent rage, it can only be accessed in his Fangire side, and that is completely shown to be fatal as well. It can also transfer into a mindless beast. Perhaps me at best 5 minutes at least. Plus, he's trying to be peaceful if the opportunity arises. at the beginning, but no longer when his personality stopped him from fighting effectively. You know, of all the Kamen I pinned in this versus series, including the previous one I before in Daily Duels, Kiva had the unluckiest one with trying to combine both the monsters and the human race. Yeah, at best. Though the sound also worth mentioning, the sound of the same as the foods can be used to confuse the armed monsters and cause them to use it by the enemy. Yeah, that's also worth another mention. With that being said, both characters are at least shown to be far stronger. While Nightwolf, while being shown to be a secondary character at best in the shown in Mortal Kombat, he is still the strongest one in Modaka, and definitely earned the title as the next second defender besides Liu Kang and Raiden, and Kiva definitely earns the title as the next ruler of the Kiva family, in the next era at least. However, despite all that, the winner should be obvious by now. Is Kamen Kiva. Yep, the king of Fangire defeated the protector of the Madoka. Say that 5 times fast. And, okay, let me say this a few things. The only advantage I can see for Nightwolf at best is mainly at least the intelligence and experience. He's shown to face off tougher opponents before, while Kiva had fought stronger ones, but mainly Fangire is going to movies at best. And plus, the Nightwolf has shown to be far more knowledge to pairing magic and spiritual plane. But other than that, yeah, he pretty much grew at least. Rude. For starters, oh yeah, and I forgot a thing that he also is far more stronger in lifting strength, while Kiva can only lift a 280 kiloton of Fangire. But other than that, yeah, Nightwolf was pretty screwed in speed, striking strength, and attack potency, durability as well. So definitely I'll get to that later. For starters, let's compare the Nightwolf to other characters like say Quan Chi, who can easily react to range lightning, in which it can be at best at Mach 1308. However, Kiva, on the other hand, in spike mode, can easily manage to go at Mach 137,133.2 Mach at best, when fly to the moon and back. And that's pretty much at best reality speed at least. And okay, you know what, at least, if I were just exclude some of the movie traits or the research, then I will couldn't win this fight. But Kamen Kiva has shown to be far more superior when it comes with actual speed, strength, attack potency, durability, and at best a few more. And heck, he had plenty martial far more arsenal than Nightwolf. Even though I didn't mention few, but he had far more arsenal in comparison to Nightwolf's at least. The only advantages I could see for this fight, if Nightwolf could either seal Kiva in the nether realm, or at least just buy in time with the spirituals. But in the end, Kiva just pretty much outbested Nightwolf. And even though I didn't mention the flight style, at least he managed to kick Kamen Legend to the moon and lit a giant crater of the moon as well. That would be a worth 13 billion or that fast trillion tons of TNT. That's far more superior what Nightwolf can able to pull off. And that's saying much, and that's good with the durability. So overall, yeah, well, I can see some few reasons that Nightwolf could win this fight. Even at best, when it comes to stamina, he is shown to be far more surviving more, as well as shown to be a better lifting strength and intelligence. Intelligence such experience category, but turn of strength, speed, durability, as well as a few more arsenal and transformations. Yeah, that best Nightwolf is pretty much screwed at the end. Well, I really had a fun right here, but in the end, I'm just howling for another victory for this one. But hey, at least on the bright side, at least this fight was nothing but Frank Run done. Okay, I do have a plan for that one, but at best, I know it's a bad one. But this is the only thing I get able to come up with. But that said, the winner of this episode is Kamen Kiva.
Get ready for the next battle. Bring it on!